Hey everyone, it's Bud again with Bud's Hot Sports Takes. Um, Recording this again. I had already made the video, but for some reason, um, the voice didn't come through, so there was no sound. Kind of makes it hard for you guys to go ahead and hear what I'm saying. Downside is I got rid of everything that I had that I prepared, so I'm just gonna do this from scratch and memory. So I do apologize. Uh, we did receive our very first ever like. We still haven't received our first comment. It doesn't show us who likes. Um, so no personal shout out, but thank you anyway for liking. Now, what we're going to be talking about, of course, is doing a recap of Game Three of the NBA Finals. We're going to be telling you about what happened, as well as what the teams need to be doing. Okay. Now, if you've tuned in the past, then you already know that I've predicted the Celtics are to win, which they're now 3-0. They won last night, but I picked them to win, not only win but win in Game 6. Uh, Now, obviously, they're 3-0, so most people are probably thinking, well, aren't they probably just going to sweep and get win in 4? Well, if so, then they would still be winning in 6, right? So I still technically would be correct. But if you remember in the last video, I did predict not only Game 6, but I predicted that they would actually get the third, then lose the next two, and then take Game 6. So we are right on track. Now, it started off with a very tough night for the Celtics. They were at one point they were losing. The Celtics were down. Um, the Celtics were down. I believe it was like by 8 or 9 points. They were being contested with their threes. They were doing what they have been doing. That was shooting three for three for three for three. They were shooting a lot of threes, but they weren't going down. But they were being contested. Then there was one play where I want to say it was Kyrie Irving when he like darted and leaped forward to go ahead and contest the shot. The other player on the Celtics team had fell down. They fell down really on their way of shooting the shot. So it wasn't from that. There was no foul on the play or anything like that. But for some reason, after after that near miss, um, the the Mavericks really stopped trying to contest the three, and then the Celtics started hitting threes. Right, they ended up getting it to come in close after the first, from being down like 8 or 9 points to only being down one. Uh, it was 31-30 after the first quarter. Mavericks with the lead. And then, the rest was history. They stopped contesting those shots, pulled ahead. Celtics got the game, right? So, what the Mavericks need to do, okay, is they need to treat the entire game like they did the first like 8 minutes of the first quarter, and that's stay contesting those threes, stay on it, don't let up that defense, right? Another thing that they need to do is, and I know by saying this, it's going to make me really unpopular, and that's Tim Hardaway Jr. He had he had like almost 19 and a half minutes off the bench. But what did he do with it? He missed all 5 shot attempts and had 3 rebounds in 19 and a half minutes of play, and was lackluster on D. He wasn't playing tight D either. So he really wasn't doing or contributing anything at all except for 3 rebounds in 19 and a half minutes. And I know some of you are probably thinking, well, what about Josh Green? He had a little over 22 minutes of play off the bench. Okay, well, let's talk about that. He knocked down his only 3 attempts he shot. He still also had 3 rebounds, but he had two assists, and a steal to go along with it. So he had more production obviously than Tim Hardaway Jr. Um, and like Tim Hardaway Jr. Again, like I said, I know dissing the guy on how he's playing gonna make me unpopular but here's the thing, guys. He's not his daddy. He's not as good as his daddy. And the game isn't the same game today as it was whenever his daddy was playing. The game evolves, games change, right? Um, Now, if his daddy was young, could he play in today's league? Yes, right? But he's not his daddy. He's not as good as his daddy was. Those are just facts, guys. So, what's now? Obviously, still, Josh Green. Yeah, he did more with his time than Tim Hardaway Jr. But still, you would like to see more out of that much time, on the court, right? Um, just saying that it wasn't the worst, right? The worst with what they did with their time by far was Tim Hardaway Jr. So what the Mavericks should end up doing, right, is sorry, coughing fit, uh, lung damage from COVID. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so what they end up needing to do with their time is give away some of those minutes to guys that aren't getting a shot or trying or much attention, like Jaden Hardy. Right now, here is a young kid um, who the other team is shooting three. You get the picture, right? And so here's what you do. You let Kyrie Irving do his thing like he did last night. He was 4 for 6 at 3 point. Let him do his thing, and give a lot of those minutes over to Jaden Hardy. You know, who, yeah, young kid. But here's the thing: that young kid loves to shoot threes. He's good at shooting threes, and if he gets in his groove, he can be lights out all night long behind the 3 point arc. So let Kyrie do his thing, have Jaden Hardy go in there and do his thing, have the rest of the team, play tight in the middle and get the rebounds that come from the missed shots, right? Re-get those missed opportunities, put those back up for some boards, get the boards, get the points, put back buckets. Great thing to do, right? Do that. At least you're doing something. And again, stay competitive. Stay tight on those 3 point shots. Don't stop contesting those shots. That's what the Mavericks need to do. Now the Celtics, right? Oh, one more thing too with the Mavericks while we were on the Mavericks is shout out to Lively the second, right? The guy had a double double, 13 rebounds, 11 points, um, and led the team in steals with two. So great night for him. The team needed him to step up. He stepped up in a big way, did his job. Good job. Now, what the Celtics need to do, okay, is it's kind of hard to really knock and critique them, when they're winning, right? But I'm gonna critique really the only thing I can, and that's their two main scorers, Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. Between the two of them, I believe they were like, what was it? Like, mm, I think I think one was like 2 for 9, the other was like 4 for 13, or something like that. So it was like 6 for 22 or something like that behind the 3 point line. That they shot for like 22 and only like landed six, right? You take away their 3 pointers, and either, and then the team was like 11 for 24, almost 50% behind the three. whereas they were 37%. So, if you do that, you either give away their 3-point shots to guys that are actually landing them, right, and making them, or, you know, even better yet, give those shots away and give them in close, close range shots. Those are called high percentage shots. They're called that for a reason. They tend to go in. Let's say, uh, 2 out of every 3 are going in from up close, and you're only knocking down like 1 for 3, uh, from distance. That means out of every 3 shots, you're scoring 1 more point by shooting in close than you were from shooting far away. So you're scoring more points. Well, the one who has the most points at the end wins, right? So yeah, yeah, do that. And also, one more thing too. Luka Doncic, dude, you were like 1 for 7 in threes. Stop shooting them as well. You miss more. If you miss 3 in a row, guess what? It's not your night. Stop it. Now, go ahead, guys. Leave a comment below, right? Feel free to like, dislike, and subscribe. Yeah, you heard that right. Like or dislike. Really doesn't matter. Obviously, yeah, prefer likes because if you like it, then that shows you're smart, and you know about sports. Congrats to you. If you don't, I don't hate the haters. I mean, the haters are wrong, but I don't hate them. They're allowed to be wrong, right? Now, again, you know, like, dislike, or subscribe below. Do all of the above and comment. If you comment, you might make it into the next segment. All right. Well, thank you guys. And again, tune in for the next segment of Bud's Hot Sports Takes. Thank you.